You are an emergency medicine educator and you're interested in making teaching videos. But here's the thing, you've seen some boring videos and you don't want to go there. You know your learners won't tolerate it. And for all the time you're planning to put into this, you'd really like your videos to have a bigger impact. So, how can you make more effective teaching videos? You need some guidance from educational theory. A quick review of educational theory related to making videos can help, so let's take a look. For an overall picture of what we're trying to accomplish, let's look at cognitive load theory. This states that a learner is challenged by three types of cognitive load at the same time. There's intrinsic load, which is inherent to the material. It can't be changed. Germane load is the good stuff that contributes to learning. And last, there's extraneous load, which is all the other stuff that doesn't help you learn. So we want to maximize this and minimize this. But how do we do that? First, we need to pay attention to how long our videos are. You probably have a sense from experience that shorter is better, but how long is too long? Turns out it's about 6 minutes. Any longer than that and attention drops off sharply. In fact, you probably looked at how long this video was before you decided to watch it. Had it been much longer than 6 minutes, you probably would have just decided to skip the video altogether. But what if we need to cover more material than we can fit into 6 minutes? Don't try to cram it all into one video. That would make the intrinsic load too high. If you have too much material to cover, segment it into more than one shorter video. How should we present information in a video to maximize learning? Well, thankfully, a psychologist named Richard Mayer and his colleagues have studied that exact question. They've described all sorts of evidence-based tips for making better multimedia learning activities. Let's look at a couple. Now, you might be tempted to add an image of your face to the screen. Turns out that doesn't help. It just distracts the learner's attention from the material. In fact, anything that requires additional cognitive load and doesn't contribute to learning should be weeded out. Music is fun, but it distracts when you're trying to learn from a video. Get rid of it so it's easier to pay attention. Don't put phrases on the screen that you'll also speak. It splits the learner's attention, which leads to less learning than if you just did one or the other. In fact, I bet you're feeling really distracted right now. Humans learn by two channels, visual and auditory, and they're separate. If you load both channels with the exact same information, you distract the learner. A lot of text overwhelms the learner's processing abilities. Use text sparingly to signal the important elements you want to draw attention to. Words are better spoken than printed because the auditory channel tends to be used less than the visual channel. Don't be redundant by displaying the same text that you're also speaking. Use the visual channel like a paintbrush to illustrate instead of duplicate. If you're teaching a procedure, first-person perspective or point of view video allows the learner to see the procedure from their own perspective. It also means they don't need to mentally transpose the action to their point of view to picture themselves performing the procedure. Compare these two videos. Which one makes it easier for you to picture yourself performing the procedure? The evidence says it's the point of view version on the right. Conversational, friendly speech is easier to learn from than formal speech. Speak relatively quickly and enthusiastically. If I read slow and in a monotone voice, it's hard to pay attention. Think about the most popular or maybe your favorite podcast. They don't sound like they're being read from a script, even though sometimes they are. But I don't want to give you the impression that scripts are bad. Writing a script can help keep your video organized and prevent wandering, which you don't have time for if you want to stay under 6 minutes. It's going to take some practice to be able to read a script without sounding like you're reading it. Now's the time to sharpen your acting skills. It also helps to make your script as conversational as possible. Write the script as if you're talking to a friend. If your script is formal, it's going to sound that way when you read it. You can also read it aloud to yourself or a friend to make sure it doesn't sound too dry. The more it sounds like a conversation, the more you'll engage the learner. So go out there and make an engaging emergency medicine teaching video. You can do it. Just remember, keep it short, conversational, and avoid cognitive overload.